This is a study vlog on To Kill a Mockingbird, and today we're looking at chapter 16 and the character of Dolphus Raymond and the theme of racial prejudice. So what is racial prejudice? Well, prejudice is where you have preconceived ideas and judgments about someone. And racial prejudice would mean that, for example, in Maycomb, white people might have ideas about the black community, judgments about the black community. Now, we're going to see in this chapter how everything is building up now to the trial of Tom Robinson. We've already seen a lot of people in Maycomb don't like the fact that Atticus is choosing to defend this black man. But what's really significant here is Dolphus Raymond is a new character who is going to show us what it means to be ostracised by the Maycomb community for his views. Now, Dolphus Raymond is almost a comic character in some ways. He walks around always drinking out of a sack through a straw, and everybody thinks that he's drinking alcohol and he's an alcoholic, and he kind of acts like he's drunk all the time. Now, we're going to find out later that it's actually just Coca-Cola, and he kind of just wants people to think that he's drunk all the time. Confusing on many levels, I know. But for this section in chapter 16, where we first see him described, Scout and Dill and Jem are discussing this kind of strange character who's sitting with the black community. This is outside the courthouse before the trial has begun. Scout asks why he's sitting with the black community because he's white. And Jem kind of explains that basically he has a black mistress and lots of children with her. And so this is one of the reasons why Dolphus Raymond is a bit of a pariah in the community. He's obviously doing something that would be seen as sinful. You know, he's cohabiting with a woman he's not married to. He's white, she's black, and they have mixed race children. Jem says about the mixed race children not really belonging anywhere. And so there's a sense in which he talks about these kind of degrees of social separation, even in Maycomb and even in these sub-communities. Jem also says, once you have a drop of Negro blood, that makes you all black, according to Maycomb people. So there's a sense in which that Dolphus Raymond, even though he seems to be a father who loves his children, is seen by the community as being a terrible sinner. Now, we're going to learn later that the kind of reason that he acts drunk all the time is to kind of fit in with that perception. It's convenient for Dolphus Raymond if everyone thinks that he's just an alcoholic and a common sinner. People can't understand why he would choose to live among the black community and choose to have, a black mistress and black children as well, and acknowledge them freely as his own. But it's interesting because it shows you the wider scope of racial prejudice. When we think about the idea of the mockingbird, to kill a mockingbird, the mockingbird is a symbol and a metaphor for someone who's innocent, and that can clearly be applied to Boo Radley and also to Tom Robinson. They're both innocent people who are treated unfairly by those around them. But in some ways, it could apply even to Dolphus Raymond. He's not actually an alcoholic. He hasn't really done anything that bad. And he does stand up for the rights of the black community. He is one of the few voices, apart from Atticus and Scout and Jem and Dill, he's one of the few voices in the novel that see what is happening to the black community as wrong in 1930s southern states, and the endemic prejudice and segregation. He is actually able to see through that. And perhaps it's made even more powerful with the fact that Dolphus is a figure who is already an outcast. He's already outside the Maycomb community. So in chapter 16, as we prepare for this trial of this black man accused of raping a white woman, what we are beginning to see is all of these attitudes in Maycomb that Lee has very carefully established right from chapter 1. We're seeing all of these attitudes now come to the fore of the novel as the trial is about to begin.
Hit subscribe if you'd like to follow my vlog for more updates on teaching, reading and studying.